Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special show here as we reveal the 2021 Arizona High School Football Thursday Night Football schedule. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is James Poovey. I'll be serving as the play-by-play voice alongside my pal Kevin Derryberry, who's also we're gonna split time on the broadcasting duties this fall, and we're gonna have a great time with it. We're pleased to be joined by a number of the coaches who will be involved with the Thursday night games. Let me first introduce the other members of our broadcast team. Mr. Ed Cole, how are you doing tonight, Mr. Cole?
Sir, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And also joining us is the third member of our team, Mr. Kevin Derryberry. And like I said, Kevin is also going to be splitting duties with me on the play-by-play call of these games this season. So we're going to have a great time with it. Kevin, how are you tonight, my friend?
JP, old saying right here, make sure you have the audio ready to go. So, yeah, we click the old mute button. Looking forward to it. James, Ed, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, KD. Yeah, it does help when you turn that mute button off.
I love it when a plan comes together.
And we are definitely pleased. Coaches. Yes, we got some outstanding coaches on with us tonight. Joining us is Coach Dave Ennis from Northwest Christian, Coach Chris McDonald with us from Basha High School, the Bears, Greg Davis, coach over there at Paradise Valley, the Trojans, Coach Bill Gossel with us from the Dobson Mustangs in the East Valley, Ben Kulos from the Raymond Kellis Cougars joining us, and Coach Eric Lauer with the Mountain Point Pride. So we're going to visit with each of these gentlemen as we talk about their specific game on this Thursday night football schedule. So let's get right to it if we can. I'm going to go ahead and share the schedule right now. Let me get that pulled up right quick. All right, so we'll blow it up right there. We're going to get things started on Thursday night, August the 26th. That game will feature the Arizona Lutheran Coyotes at the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles, a 2A battle to open up our season. Guys, that's going to be an exciting one. A personal interest to me, as I am one of the employees over at Scottsdale Christian Academy. I do IT over there going into my fourth school year, a great place to be, and we're looking forward to an outstanding football game there that night. The Eagles battling the Coyotes. Coach Nate Holtz going into his third season there at Scottsdale Christian Academy, and a storied history of football over at Arizona Lutheran Academy as well, and they run that very familiar wing T, guys.
Yeah, that's going to be a really great opener for us for the season. Coyotes and the Eagles, two playoff teams from last year. That is going to be a really exciting opening in your backyard, JP. The place where you actually work and where you get a paycheck from. That'll be great to do a broadcast from. So you can guide us around. For anybody of us that has never been to that campus, like me, you can guide me around and say, okay, this is where I work and this is where we're going to broadcast from. So I'm excited for you to indoctrinate me into Scottsdale Christian Academy. But that is going to be a fantastic game to start up the season for us.
Nate Holt, your region coach of the year, does a great job. As Ed mentioned, both teams are playoff teams. For me, it starts with Bowden Davidson. He's a transfer from Fountain Hills just a year ago. Missed his first 5 games last year. That was a tough penalty to pay, especially in a COVID-shortened season. But Bowden Davidson, he's a kick returner. Just started to really find his way in that offense for SCA. And, it starts up front. They got some big dudes. They got to replace a few guys. But Will Chambers, one of those guys they have to replace. But they've got an outstanding core group, and that's a heck of a game to kick off the season with.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and they got a lot of good players there up front, especially for Scottsdale Christian Academy. I've talked with a few of those guys over the last couple of days, and they've been switching things up a little bit on the offensive line, so it's going to be an exciting matchup to open the season. I'm going to let a couple more coaches in here that are just joining us as they come on in here. And we'll keep going on the schedule. Moving on to game number 2. Again, starting the season off on Thursday, August 26th. It'll be Arizona Lutheran at Scottsdale Christian Academy, a 2A matchup. And then the next Thursday night, it'll be the Paradise Valley Trojans at the North Canyon Rattlers. And we are pleased to be joined tonight by head coach Greg Davis from Paradise Valley. How are you tonight, Coach?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us here tonight. And just give us a little bit about your off season and what you guys have been up to over there at Paradise Valley High School.
Well, it's been a good off season for us. We last year we were pretty much decimated by the COVID experience. I think we had 5 weeks in a row where we were supposed to play a certain team, got ready for them, and on Wednesday and Thursday we got the call that they were in quarantine and had to pick up a game against another team 5 weeks in a row. That's tough on kids to prepare for Barry Goldwater and double wing, and then all of a sudden go to a 5 wide team in 1 day preparation. But we're excited about what we got. We've got a little bit of a surge of numbers out. Right now we got 45 freshmen, which is like unheard of in our world, but we're excited about that. But the numbers, I think people are excited about being out of their house and not being locked up anymore. So I'm hoping that these numbers stick. But yeah, we're excited. We're excited to get on the field, and obviously North Canyon is a rivaled game. So it being on Thursday night and the first game of the year, our kids are getting excited.
That is really cool, Coach. So offensively and defensively, are you seeing your kids starting to come together? You mentioned you've got 45 freshmen, so you've got a lot of youth on your football team. But have the upperclassmen kind of taken to the young men and are guiding them along, especially in a tough situations like this, as we're still dealing with the Delta variant of COVID, and there's so much uncertainty about what's going to happen this fall and what's going on with our lives. How do you see your football team coming together with everything that we're facing from a personal standpoint?
Yeah, these guys are very close because most of these guys were the ones playing football games last year. We had guys that opted out of the season last year, but they decided not to play. So the fact that these guys have been together and went through the kind of the ringer with each other, they've grown very close. And so having some new guys in our program, they've done a great job of leading and getting those young guys going with what we're about, which is our Trojan Creed, and so it's been a good thing.
Coach, part of that Trojan Creed is your leadership. Congratulations to you on your tenure. I'm thinking a decade plus now for you being the front man for Trojan football. That's quite an accomplishment in its own right, especially in that little market right there.
I appreciate that. No, it's been great. I think I have the best admin in the state. They value character building, and so with that, it goes hand in hand with what I think I value as a coach. So it's been a good combination between me and the admin. But my daughter just graduated from Poovey. I got another one that's a junior this year, and then I got a 6-year-old who thinks she's a senior. So it's been a great run at Poovey, and I love it here. So
Coach, it's always good to have another Ryan in the mix at quarterback. Hopefully get his name right. Ryan Deonise, senior captain, returns at quarterback. You can correct me on the pronunciations, but of course you graduated Ryan Finley a couple years back. He's had some time playing on Sundays, so that's quite an accomplishment as well. And then Ben Finley, he's coming right along too. He's playing at the FBS level right now. So you put some guys, some dudes, as they say, to the next level.
Well, Ryan wasn't mine. I had to coach against him. I was at Cactus Shadows at the time. So unfortunately, I didn't get to coach him. But I did get to coach Ben and Daniel Bridgegad before him. So we've had some quarterbacks. Ryan Dennis is his name, and that's actually our principal's son. And he moved to linebacker. That's how good at quarterback he was. He got moved to outside linebacker. But that's just the kind of kid he is. He stepped in last year in a tough situation and played quarterback for us when we really didn't have anyone. But we have a junior, Jaden McDaniel, has stepped up. I think he's going to be an outstanding runner for us, and he does a great job of doing what he needs to do in order to get the job done. So we're excited about seeing him play.
All good things right there from the Paradise Valley Trojans, the head coach Greg Davis. Thanks, Coach, for joining us here this evening. Once again, they're going to battle the North Canyon Rattlers at North Canyon. That'll be on Thursday night, September the 2nd. Once again, these games are going to be live on YouTube, right on the Epic Sports Network YouTube channel, free for everyone to watch, whether it's local fans and friends and family, or if it's a grandma and grandpa far away, send them the link and make sure that they can get on and watch these student athletes that they might not otherwise have a chance to be able to watch. So great stuff. Game 2 right there, Paradise Valley at North Canyon. Moving along on Thursday night, September the 9th. That game will feature the St. Mary's Knights at the Poston Butte Broncos. We were at Poston Butte last season. We had Ben Franklin at Poston Butte last year. So that was an exciting matchup. We're excited to go back out there to the home of the Broncos. We're pleased this evening to be joined by the head coach for the St. Mary's Knights, Jose Lucero. Coach Lucero, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're doing great. Tell us about the St. Mary's Knights and what you guys have been up to.
Been fortunate enough to have a full off season, this summer and spring has been really nice. Kids have been working hard and, trying to get bigger, faster, stronger, getting ready for a season. Like a lot of the rest of the 4A pro schools out there, we finished day 4 today, first day in helmet and shoulder pads, and just getting better every single day.
Yeah, Coach, that has to be a great feeling to be able to have your group together, considering, again, what we went through last year with so many teams missing games and players opting out and so much uncertainty. Again, for you to be able to field a team and you're getting them together and you're getting them ready for what's coming up this season, that has to be great as a head coach to know that you're getting your team together and things are kind of coming together and you're solidifying your organization and your young men.
No, absolutely. From the football side of it last year, coming into the program for the first time and not really being able to touch a football until July was a little bit different. You can only get so much done through Zoom install meetings and things like that. But I think you were right, though. It's more than just, the fact that we're actually able to practice, but just being able to be around the kids and develop those really good relationships. I mean, you only get, 10 weeks in the season, regular season, and hopefully playoffs every single year. And but it's all the off-season stuff. You spend the most time with the kids, and it's been a blast and a real blessing.
Jose Emily Lucero. That is just phenomenal. Love the nickname, Coach. No, just having fun with you. Obviously, we got that corrected there. Yeah, no kid. We're just having some fun with you right there, buddy. Hey, Coach, you guys defeated Poston Butte last year. In fact, you ended their season in a 14-7 ball game. It was a 1-touchdown ball game. But and I know we're going to talk about Poston Butte here in just a second, but I want to talk about Brophy Prep, man. I mean, you guys kick it off with Brophy Preparatory, St. Mary's, the Knights, and all that you guys represent from back day in the day with Coach Farrell. And then Brophy Prep, Jason Jewell leads that program now. Glad you guys were able to get together, the administration able to get together and put that game on the slate for everybody to see. That's got to be a fun one to open up with.
No, absolutely. As an alumni it's a lot of fun, Brophy week, a lot of pressure, a lot of excitement, but we're definitely looking forward to it. We know that Brophy is going to be a good football team, but we felt like that was a game that needed to be on the schedule, and we're really excited to go have the opportunity to play them again this year, and hopefully we make our community proud. I know people are really excited for that game for sure.
Coach, that's a real treat for everybody that is involved with high school football. Guys, I don't know what you feel about that game. Obviously, the Poston Butte tilt against St. Mary's, we're going to call that game, but I'm a little geeked up, a little amped up for that Brophy Prep St. Mary's. A little return to glory right there.
Oh, yeah, I am too, because, Coach, I've got a little personal stake with Brophy. Our oldest son went to Brophy. He just graduated, and now our youngest son just started at Brophy. So I may just have to side with Brophy on that night, Coach. No, nothing personal. I just got to go with the family tradition at Brophy.
We won't hold it against you.
Yeah, that's a renewing of a great rivalry, as you both mentioned right there, between the St. Mary's Knights and the Brophy Broncos. So that's going to be a fantastic way for you guys to kick off the season for sure. And you talk about Poston Butte, the Broncos under Coach Dane Thompson. They have some weapons there as well. And we had a great time out there last year, so we're looking forward to another fantastic game out there. And I say the far East Valley, I mean the far Southeast Valley out there at Poston Butte High School, almost to Johnson Ranch out there. So that's going to be a fantastic matchup. Moving along, we're going to head down now. I reached out when I was putting the schedule together, and I reached out to a Southern Arizona reporter named Andy Morales, and I said, Andy, I want you to tell me the matchup in Southern Arizona. I don't want you to think about it for too long. I just want you to spit it out and tell me right away. And without hesitation, he said South Point at Cienega. And I said, that's the game we got to get on the Thursday night schedule. We were blessed to get it. So that'll be on Thursday night, September the 16th at Cienega High School, home of the Bobcats. And that'll be the South Point Catholic Lancers. That's going to be a fantastic matchup down there in Southern Arizona. We're trying to, again, get exposure for some teams that maybe don't get a whole lot of coverage, especially up here in the Phoenix metro area. And so obviously this game, once again, live on YouTube, free for everyone to watch. And it's going to be great stuff. The next game coming up after that on Thursday night, September the 23rd, will feature the Corona del Sol Aztecs, who we featured last year on Thursday Night Football at their place in Tempe. They are going to battle the Desert Vista Thunder under brand new head coach Ty Wisdom. And Coach Wisdom is joining us here this evening on the program. Coach Wisdom, are you with us?
I see his name there.
I see he's on there.
He's there. They may have just stepped away.
He might have stepped away for just 1 second. That's going to be Corona del Sol at Desert Vista. Once again, the Desert Vista Thunder out there in Ahwatukee under their first season under Coach Ty Wisdom. He obviously came over from Horizon High School, the Huskies, and that's going to be a fantastic matchup, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Corona's coming in there, had a great season last year, 8-1. Their defense was strong, gave up 109 points. And this will be Desert Vista's first home game, fellows, as they start off at Perry and at Mesa. So this is a really, really big game for Desert Vista, especially them coming off an 0-6 season last year. So they would love to get off to a really good start, win at Perry, at Mesa. They'd love that, and then come home against Corona del Sol to start the season. They'd love to get some victories because they haven't had any in quite a while.
I believe we have Coach Ty Wisdom with us now. Coach Wisdom, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm right here. Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. We know everyone's got a really busy schedule. We're excited for your game on the 23rd of September, a Thursday night matchup between Corona del Sol and your Desert Vista Thunder. Give us just a little bit of a summary of your offseason and what you guys have been up to out there in Ahwatukee.
Yeah, taking the job in December, we had a good full spring with the guys, and then had a really good summer, and unfortunately the past couple of weeks have been a little rough with some COVID stuff that popped up, but we're getting guys back and slowly getting, we had probably about 70% of the guys in shoulder pads today, being the fourth practice in. Still missing probably 7 or 8 guys that are key players for us, but hopefully we'll get them back middle of next week, and then be ready to go against Perry on the 2nd of September.
Yeah, that's clearly not the way you want to start your reign at Desert Vista, Coach. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a situation that we're all living in with COVID and the Delta variant and everything. But congratulations on your position. And so you got 70% of your guys there. That's better than 0%, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have the majority of them, like I said, but some of them are just starting their helmet the helmet play, and and different things like that. So it's just been a different deal, waiting, delayed the checkout of equipment last week just with COVID, and so it's been a strange last couple of weeks. But again, it's one of those things. I guess I'd rather have it happen right now than game 4. So looking at the glass half full part of it. So. But no, we're excited. The kids have had great energy the last 4 days, and that's all we can ask for.
Coach Wisdom, you inherit a tradition-rich program from Dan Hines, and you look at the community there in Ahwatukee, the backdrop of the stadium, just the school campus, the grounds. It is a gorgeous facility, a little bit different from Horizon right there on 56th Street in Greenway, kind of nestled back in the eastern part of Ahwatukee. But you get some good players too, Coach, and one of those players is Devin Grubbs. He's a two-way kid. He's been in the program for, I want to say this is his 4th year now, maybe his 4th year playing varsity football. Another guy there, Jair Rodriguez. We always talk about the bigs up front. 6'5", 270 big. That's a good guy and a good foundation, a pillar, if you will, on offensive line that you guys can build around.
Yeah, no, those two are obviously great leaders, and the two that people know about. Devin's obviously had a great high school career, and we're looking forward to sending him off the right way, and he'll definitely be a two-way player for us. And Jai holding down the left side at left tackle. He had a great spring and summer, and I look forward to him having a big fall. But we have some other guys. We have a big quarterback competition ahead. Like 4 guys beating for a spot right now. So we'll see who steps up and takes that. And there's a lot of positions open. Obviously, when you go 0-7 or whatnot, there's pretty much every position open. But the guys are going to work, and there is talent there. And we got to get back to the fundamentals and the little things.
Outstanding stuff right there from head coach Ty Wisdom of the Desert Vista Thunder. Again, in his first season over there in Ahwatukee, they will battle the Corona del Sol Aztecs on Thursday night, September 23rd. They're hosting that game at Desert Vista High School. That's going to be a great one. We are looking forward to that. Thank you again, Coach Wisdom, for taking the time, coming on here with us.
Thanks, Coach.
And sharing some
Coach.
information on your Desert Vista Thunder. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Tavian Dennis,
Thank
another
you,
one of
sir.
those guys that's a baller for that club. And, I think any coach here would attest to it. You like to have quarterback competition. I knew maybe you guys would say, no, we don't. We want to know that there's one guy that's there, but I think it's healthy to have competition at the position, knowing that you've got someone that's going to emerge and then someone that's ultimately going to be ready on a moment's notice, because everybody is one play away from being that next man up.
Absolutely, Kevin. Depth is an absolute key in every position, especially the quarterback position, the most high profile of all positions on a football team.
Yes, indeed. Up next on the schedule, we go down once again to Casa Grande, Arizona, and visit Coach Jake Barrow and the Casa Grande Cougars and quarterback Angel Flores. They're going to host the Douglas Bulldogs on Thursday night, September the 30th, that game at Casa Grande High School. That's going to be a fun one, guys.
Absolutely. I know Douglas was hit really bad with COVID last year. They only played one game and they lost to Walden Grove 63-3. And this will be the third of 4 straight road games for the Bulldogs. So they will already be in the middle of a test before they even head to Casa Grande. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you mentioned Angel Flores. Really good season for them last year. Almost 1,600 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he had a really good season. Plus he had almost 1,000 yards rushing last year and 16 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, everything starts with Angel Flores. I mean, that guy is a great player and one of those guys that you can rely on, does so many things on and off the field. He's strong in the classroom, gets it done in the weight room as well, and he can sling it, no doubt about it. He's a fun guy to watch.
And just a great kid overall. I had the time to speak with him last year during our game down there in Casa Grande, and he is just one of those guys that you really want on your football team. He rallies the troops when need be. He's really accurate with his balls, and he can make plays with his feet, and he'll run you over too. He's really tough. So that's going to be a great matchup. Douglas at Casa Grande on Thursday night, September 30th down there in Pinal County. Up next, it'll be on October 7th. This game is tentative at the moment, and that is due to my mistake. I got my dates mixed up. I was looking at the Mingus at Bradshaw Mountain game, thinking that was on October the 8th, but my mistake. We're looking at trying to get Tempe at Bradshaw Mountain on the schedule. The Buffaloes at Bradshaw Mountain Bears on Thursday night, October 7th. That will be a great one. Hopefully we can get that locked in here in the next couple of days, so stay tuned on that one. Going ahead on the schedule to the next week, on Thursday night, October the 14th, we're pleased to have both these coaches on here with us here this evening. It'll be the Mountain Point Pride at the Basha Bears. And joining us here is Mountain Point head coach, returning to the Mountain Point Pride, Coach Eric Lauer, and coach of the Basha Bears, Coach Chris McDonald. Coach Lauer, we'll start with you. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Tell us a little bit about the Mountain Point Pride and your return to that role there at Mountain Point High School.
Well, it's been exciting, a little difficult like everyone else. Had to go through some difficult untreaded waters last year. The biggest issue of not knowing who your players are, in a sense, right, athletically or as young men. So it's been a good offseason this year. Greatly appreciated when you didn't have that kind of opportunity last year to build. And you're always trying to set character. You're trying to walk that out every day. And we've been able to put our footprints in a little bit deeper this off season. So we're feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, Coach, what are you liking about the talent level that you have on offense, defense, and special teams? What are you liking so far from what you're seeing from your young men?
Well, what's been fun for me, I've had to change a little bit. Offensively, what I'm used to, some things that we've done at Mount Point in years past was running the ball, and this year, because of our personnel, looking at throwing the ball a little bit more, and definitely being well balanced. So we've looked at some things that are new to me as a coach. So that's been interesting and fun. And we have a few athletes that have been competing pretty well. We were able to get a good bit of our group into track this year, and that helped us to build a relationship with them as well.
Coach Flower, thanks for joining us on the program tonight. I'm just curious, you come from such a storied program, a winning tradition there. Norris Vaughn, legendary on campus there. How often do you get through a day where you don't hear a story about Norris Vaughn? Because he is revered in the high school circuit. He's been revered in back east and Georgia, among other places. But just to kind of to hear about Norris Vaughn on campus there, what's that experience been like for you? And do you have a good story to relay?
Yeah, I think you're referring to a Vaughnism, which we call him.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a guy that God broke the mold on, in a real good way.
Absolutely.
That just his animation and his passion for the game. I'll be honest, I've never seen anyone his age get after it, for 2+ hours on the field like he did. Just the passion for the game and the get after was unparalleled, and it was fun to be around him. Him and I actually talk about once a month, and he's still kind of a football mentor to me. He'll be around for a couple games this year. He's going to come into town and hang out for a couple weeks. So no, he's a one of a kind for sure.
Eric, that's awesome. That's good stuff right there. He is a treasure, no doubt about it. You talked about your quarterback or the offense, maybe kind of rallying around the quarterback position. Junior quarterback Chris Arvizo II, he appears to be the front runner. What kind of a camp is he having, and how excited are you looking forward to him beginning the season as the guy?
Yeah, we're trying to clean up some mechanic things a little bit. A real good thrower. He loves throwing the ball. That's probably his best attribute. So we're trying to get him to pay a little more attention to detail and the nuances of what we're doing, but he's turning out to be a real good positive leader for our guys, and to be able to have that quarterback play, as everyone knows, on any level is huge.
Absolutely.
Great stuff right there from head coach Eric Lauer of the Mountain Point Pride. Coach, thanks for taking the time. We're also pleased to be joined this evening by your opponent on Thursday night, October 14th, as Mountain Point battles the Basha Bears. Coach Chris McDonald also joining us here tonight on the show. Coach McDonald, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Come on here and tell us a little bit about the Basha Bears and what's going on out there in the Far East Valley.
Well, like a lot of people, we just finished our fourth day of practice this week, first one in pads, and so it's always exciting for the kids, and so we've got some new faces this year, and so with that came some expectations that I've got to temper every single day, and so that's kind of the key and kind of the goal right now, and we still practice here and there, obviously leading up to the season, so we just want to make sure that we don't lead to burnout too quick. But our kids are working hard in the weight room every day at 6, and then we do our, we got film during 6th hour and install, and then we're out onto the field. So we're looking forward to it and looking to embrace the journey.
Coach, it's got to be great to have those expectations, especially coming off a playoff bid last year, a quarterfinal. It didn't end the way you wanted to against Sandra Day O'Connor, but you made it to the playoffs. You made it 6-3, 3-0 in the 6A Central, and you made it to the playoffs. Is that something that you're building upon with your young men, knowing, okay, last year this is what we did in a COVID situation. Now we're getting our team together, and now we know where we can get to the playoffs, and we know we can get there. We just have to continue to grind so we can get even further into the playoffs if we make it again this year.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, the kids. In all honesty, the kids have really bought into the process, which has been good, and we play, we open up against O'Connor, and they beat us in overtime last year, as you said. And so it's an opportunity for our kids to kind of play a little revenge game with them. But, they're looking forward to it. I think everybody is just excited to kind of have a full season or knock on wood, and to be able to get after it without any obstacles as of right now, as we speak. And so I just think there's some excitement around the community and around the school. And like I said, we want to embrace those expectations. We don't, talk about, first we will win, then we'll be first, type messages all the time. So.
Coach Mack, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We're doing fantastic. Good seeing you again. Boy, I would think you would just love this position in the offseason, going into it with a lot of hype and deservedly so. I can't believe my colleagues here didn't mention Damon Williams Jr. before I did, but he's a guy that you sell tickets around. He's a guy that you print posters of. This guy is a special player. You saw him as a freshman. He played a lot as a freshman. I think he started every game for you, but he grew up quite a bit before your very eyes there. Sure, he played like a freshman at times, but boy, he sure showed a lot of promise. What do you look for him, and how much have you seen the growth in the offseason, building on 16 touchdowns and just tremendous game numbers, but over 200 yards 5 times through the air. That's a nice foundation and a good foundational piece.
Yeah, I just think, as you said, every game you could see it was tangible that he was getting better. I mean, you could literally see it happening. He spent he had a great offseason. He ran track. He was on the 4x1 sprint, relay team. Committed himself to the weight room, obviously to track and field to gain an edge in the speed. And then, so from a football standpoint, he's a smart kid. For his age, he's very wise. And intelligent. And so, really it'll be more of him being able to make more on-field decisions with checks and things of that nature to kind of take the next step in the progression of him kind of being a point guard out there as the quarterback, but as a point guard as well, and putting us in positions to be successful.
Coach, you mentioned some of your new additions that you've got on the program. Among those, Cole Martin, the transfer from Hamilton High School, one of the top-rated cornerbacks in the nation. How are those guys fitting into the program there at Basha?
Well, they're great. I mean, they came over and they wanted to be a part of the culture. They came over, they wanted to acclimate themselves to what we do. It wasn't a situation of them trying to go, come over and say, hey, this is how we do it, or I'm going to put my, I'm going to show you how we do things. And quite frankly, I'll be honest, Cole Martin's he's been a fantastic kid to coach. He brings a whole different type of energy to the game of football on the practice field, even in these dog days of summer, and kids just feed off of it. He's a football kid through and through. I mean, he's got a great attitude. I mean, he's been fantastic coach. I really can't say anything bad. He's a great student. He's been great.
And as good as your defense was last year, Coach, we can throw out numbers: 107 tackles a game you averaged, 74 TFLs, 19 sacks, 81 QB hurries. I did my homework. I've got all these numbers. 12 interceptions, 74 passes defense. So many great things. So many great. Yeah, that's what I do. You got to prepare as a color analyst, so you got numbers to throw out. So I would think that Cole can slide into that defense. What do you like more about your defense this year? This year's version of the Basha Bears defense, Coach. What are you seeing so far from them? And can they duplicate and be as strong as they were last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we lose obviously some key senior pieces. One in Caden Camacho was a great safety. He was region player of the year. But I think our defense this year is bigger, faster, and stronger. They're all young. Majority of them return. And then as we've touched upon, we've got some key secondary pieces that moved in, and so our back end is really good as well, which is going to allow our linebackers and our defensive line to really get after it.
Very good. Head coach Chris McDonald of the Basha Bears. Once again, they're squaring off against the Mountain Point Pride on Thursday night, October 14th, Thursday night football game of the week. That's going to be a dandy out there at Basha High School.
Absolutely.
Hey, JP, my last point for Coach McDonald.
Yes, sir.
Coach Mack, really a fantastic job taking over that program. I don't know if you would agree that the metamorphosis is complete, but you're building on the 6 wins from last year. Clearly a playoff team and could be a playoff contender this year and maybe make a deep run. But you've really done a nice job there. And now you get guys from Hamilton wanting to play for the Basha Bears. That does not happen very often when guys leave Hamilton. So really kudos to you and your entire staff and the community start to embrace change for the Basha Bears.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Very well said, KDB. I think we echo those sentiments as well, Coach McDonald. And once again, looking forward to that matchup there on October the 14th out there at the home of the Bears at Basha High School. On Thursday night, October the 21st, we will feature Cibola at Copper Canyon. We're pleased to be joined tonight by the head coach for the Copper Canyon Aztecs, Coach Chad Talley. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good, thank you.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on here with us. It's going to be an exciting game. Now we get this team coming in from Yuma. What do you know about Cibola?
My experience with Cibola was back in 2018 when I was the OC. I was there, of course, with 2018. I left, took over to the school and came back. The thing was that they're kind of traditional in what they did, but they did it pretty well. I mean, Cibola is a good football team. And the QB at the time, they tend to really rely on them running the show. And the QB at the time did pretty well. And from other past film, they kind of stick with what they do. But Cibola is a good football team. I think it'll be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, tell us a little bit about your squad out there at Copper Canyon. We tried to have you guys on Thursday Night Football last season. Unfortunately, we weren't quite able to make the scheduling work out, but I'm very thankful that we were this year, and it's going to be an exciting game. Tell us a little bit about your Aztecs.
Yeah, I'm really happy that football is really back at Copper Canyon. Of course, with the Tolson District, it was pretty rough for our seniors, but glad it's back now. I think it's going to be a unique situation. It's kind of weird when it comes to when you're off for an entire year, you don't play a single game. And our kids were just in helmets and shells, and they think it's Sunday night under the lights in an NFL game right now. They're a little juiced up. We're having to try to calm them down a little bit.
I bet.
So they're just holding back as much as they can, but it ain't by much. So we're kind of pushing to really get them focused on the fact that it's one day at a time, one rep at a time. Just take your time, guys. It's all right. We'll get there. I just think they're chomping the bit. And we're got a good amount of freshmen come around, which is good for the future. And I think it's going to be a unique situation being a school that is in the Tulsa district that didn't play a single game.
Yeah, Coach, it had to have been tricky last year. Like you said, no games, but the game planning that you did do, I guess, before it was inevitable that there would be no games, some of the game planning you did last year, are you going to try to implement that this season, considering that you weren't able to roll out any of the plans or anything that you had planned on during the games last year?
I guess I'd say with personnel change, so we'll change the playbook in a sense. How we're doing things this year is I'm not a fan of sticking with exactly what works for every year, what works for the kids we have and with the skill set we have. So what we did last year, we had things in place. It would have been good, but we adjusted and made some tweaks and changes for the kids we have now and their skill set. And so the game planning approach kind of changed a little bit. But I think we're on the right road for what we have, and also for probably the next 4 years for the kids we're getting in.
Coach, it seems like every football program that I've spoke to over the last year, at some point they've had some challenges keeping coaches, and that's been difficult for a lot of football teams. What's it been like for you? How have you been able to keep your staff together, and what's that cohesion like as you work towards your first game?
I guess, if I can give any advice to anybody, any coach, period, is not so much hiring all the coaches that think they know everything, know the world. Biggest thing is finding guys you get along with, finding guys that like to coach kids. That's my biggest focus. The guys that want to coach kids and focus on that and not know everything it is they think they know about football. And I've been able to get a staff like that. They fit in the fold for what we like and what we experience, and we can actually be together and not hate each other, kind of thing. And we can develop coaches that maybe are not as experienced. And it kind of just it's for me, when I hire coaches, it's more of a relationship than a knowledge aspect. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to bring on some coaches that have a certain amount of knowledge and a certain amount of relationship when it comes to what works with us and how they are acting and how they are responding to kids. And I'm actually surprised being a year off the amount of coaches that we've been able to bring on and keep and fit into the fold and do things the Copper Canyon way.
Well, that's a blessing.
I was going to say it's the function. Sometimes the function is overlooked, and you just want to find a fit, and that fit is ultra critical.
Agreed.
Well, you mentioned it, KD and Coach Talley. You know, you guys, your coaching family that you have at your respective schools, you guys spend more time together than you do with your own families at home.
Yeah.
Especially starting now, going all the way through pretty much Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and then if you make the playoffs, even further.
My fiance is 7.5 months pregnant, and I have an issue right now. I spend a lot of time away from home, get home 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm risking my life right now is what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, how about a hand out there right quick for the coaches' wives, because they are the real saints at home, getting things done and making things, making sure things are taken care of while you guys are out doing what you love to do and coaching up these kids and having fun with that game that we all love. So
congratulations
again, Coach, congratulations
that.
for sure.
Thank you.
And thank you again for taking the time out with us here. Once again, it'll be the Cibola Raiders against the Copper Canyon Aztecs Thursday night, October 21st at Copper Canyon High School. Up next, it'll be Thursday, October 28th. It'll be West Point at the Raymond Kellis Cougars. We're pleased to be joined tonight by the head coach of Raymond Kellis, Ben Cullis. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, hey, we appreciate you being willing to host a Thursday night football game. Tell us a little bit about your program and your thoughts on this matchup between you guys and West Point.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get our kids out in front of an audience. Taking over this job in late March, about 2 weeks before spring ball was slated to start. It was kind of drinking through a fire hose for the first little bit. Not just that it was my first head coach job, but getting the job so late in the spring like that. So I was lucky to get a staff together that has a lot of experience in it, a lot of personal ties to myself, and so I've been pretty lucky. We got through spring football. Had a great summer turnout, and that's kind of where we're at right now, building towards this thing in the fall.
Coach, when we talk about this game with West Point, they didn't play a game last year, similar to what Copper Canyon did. How do you prepare for a team that hasn't played a game?
Yeah, it's interesting. We play. I think on our schedule we play 5 teams that didn't play a game last year, and in fact, we opened with Sierra Linda, who was another team that didn't play a game last year. And so you got to go back to 2019 film, and as Coach Talley just said, they might be a lot different football team than they were in 2019. So you just got to go off of what you see and then look at similar trends for what's in the scrimmage. And so right now that's kind of what we're going off, but it's definitely a unique situation for those schools.
Coach Koulos, you inherit a football team that was winless last year, 0-8. It was remarkable that they did get to play all 8 games, so certainly a silver lining right there just to go through that experience. The 5A West wasn't too kind to you at 0-3 there, but you've got some new players and some new ideas. You're infusing new talent there with some new vision. How about some players that you've been kind of waiting to talk about? You haven't had a chance to. Who's somebody that you'd like to just kind of ring their bell a little bit and share us a little bit about their potential success? One thing I like about your opponents and your schedule is that, yes, these teams haven't played a lot of football recently, and that could be advantage Raymond S. Kellis. You might be able to take advantage of that with your strong offseason and the cohesion that you're building within your new staff and your players. Maybe you have a chance to have a quick start and build on success early.
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate. We're bringing in I think we're up to 130 kids in the program right now. Last year, they only had enough for a varsity and a freshman sophomore team. So they were hovering at about like 60 total. And so Coach, that's tough.
Doesn't it start right there with the body count in many cases? Yeah. Like that's huge for your program.
Yeah. I mean, every coach on here will tell you that you get a lot more out of players when they feel like they're going to lose their job if they miss a practice or if they skip a set in the weight room. So that's been great. It's been great to have that. We got a good nucleus, a bunch of seniors. Actually, they they don't act like a group of seniors that's won only one game over the last 3 years, and we've talked about that. We've had our leadership council that we kind of talk about how to breed that confidence. But our quarterback, Isaac Matthews, he's a kid that I think is going to really turn some heads this year. He's a dual threat kid, runs track for us. He was part of the relay team, narrowly missed qualifying for state. I mean, he's a good kid. We got a 6'6" offensive tackle that no one knows about because we haven't been very successful. He's a multi-sport athlete, and he's also great for us on our basketball team. So, I mean, he's big and he can move. And, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that are missing out on that. And then,
what's his name, Coach?
Ezekiel Pacheco is his name.
Pacheco, 6'6", Coach? What, 300 pounds?
Yeah, you'll see him.
Oh, wow. They're going to know about him on Thursday, October 28th, Coach. I promise you that much.
Yeah. So, I mean, but similar struggles to all these coaches. We're not through this COVID thing, unfortunately. So we're working through our own issues and trying to get kids. And same thing. First day in shoulder pads today, but not for a lot of kids, just due to various issues. So it's been a grind, but we're excited about it. I know these kids are really, really excited about this year.
Great stuff right there from head coach Ben Cullis from the Raymond S. Kellis Cougars. Once again, thanks, Coach, for your time this evening. We're looking forward to that game on Thursday night, October 28th against West Point. Up next on the schedule, the next to last game of the season, and that will feature the Tucson Badgers heading up to Mesa to battle the Dobson Mustangs. We're pleased to be joined tonight by the head coach of the Dobson Mustang, Coach Bill Gossel, was on with us last season on Thursday Night Football. We had a fantastic time out there at your place, Coach. How are you doing tonight?
Sorry, gotta get on my. Thanks, James, for having us out again. We're excited to have you guys back. Back at Dick Palace Field. The energy that we've already got with our kids starting off this week has been off the charts. Some of the best practices I've had since I've taken over at Dobson.
Great stuff. You guys are going to battle the Tucson Badgers. What do you know about that ball club coming up from Pima County down there in southern Arizona?
Well, I know they got a new head coach, so it's going to be we're going to have to catch up with what they're changing their offense and defense to. So we'll know by then when we get to them what it's looking like. But right now, I know that their new head coach is going to have them disciplined and ready to go.
Coach, you struggled at home last year, 0-4 to go along with your 2-6 record. How important is it to hold court at home and get a victory, like we talk about on November 4th against Tucson, and of course the other games that you play before Tucson comes to your place?
Yeah, no, that was rough. I don't think I've ever gone in my tenure without winning a home game, and that was definitely tough. Our kids battled, they persevered. I mean, just like everybody else, we had to replace 3 different games in a week because of COVID situations, which makes it tough. And but our kids are focused on developing for the future, and we've had a great off season. We focused heavily on player-driven leadership. That all our kids have rallied around. All of our kids finally got a chance to have a full off season. We're a heck of a lot stronger, a heck of a lot faster, and a heck of a lot more motivated this year.
Bill Gossel, our guest here on the program, the Dobson Mustang head coach. Coach Gossel, you guys open up with Red Mountain the first week. The schedule makers didn't do you guys any favors. But before I get to that, I wanted to mention the shirt. You got the Nike Authentic. We saw your tweet this morning. Still looking sharp. What, this late in the evening here? What is it? Almost 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah. See,
you're still sporting the Dobson Mustang gear. You gotta love it, Coach.
Yeah, well, we had open house right after practice, so I had to look representable, So after that, I hustled home so I can get back here for this. But the boys are excited. They love their new Nike stuff that we got the last 2 years, so they love it. They're more excited about representing that Mustang. They bleed blue over there, and those kids are awesome.
Coach, you too, it's been a challenge for you. You've kind of had a chance to restore that Mustang roar. You've done a nice job over the last couple of seasons. A couple of players to mention here. I look at this as we start to prepare for that first broadcast, James and I, but Jordan Legg, really, this is your quarterback, and he spent a little time throwing the football last year, but he's also your place kicker. I think he does some punting. What else does Jordan Legg do? But he's got that football name, Coach.
Well, he fishes a lot, but no, I make sure he doesn't fish too much during the season. But this kid, when I first met him as a freshman, my first year at Dobson, he goes, Coach, I'm going to be starting quarterback at Dobson. I'm like, but all you want to do is kick. He goes, no, I'm going to be the quarterback. And that was his dream coming up in junior high, was to be the starting quarterback at Dobson. And, his first start, he lit it up. He threw for almost 300 yards. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns. Not bad for a sophomore kid that had just been a kicker on the varsity as a freshman to step into that role. He's dedicated himself this offseason. He's worked with a quarterbacks coach. He worked with Coach Steve Bellis this whole offseason, working on his mechanics, working on his throwing game. Plus, he works with Steve Roush on his kicking game, a Dobson alum. So he's super dedicated to being the best football player, best athlete, best leader, and overall great kid.
Coach,
I'm sorry, Kev.
Oh, I just want to mention that there's a couple buzzwords right in there. First of all, Steve Bellis. That's fantastic that Coach B's back in the circuit a little bit, maybe behind the scenes, but the fact that he's still working with young kids, doing what he does well, that's outstanding, Coach Gossel. I'm glad that you guys have been able to kind of rekindle, reunite, and bring him back to the game. That's just fantastic. But I did want to mention Deshaun Kenny. This guy, a lot of guys are saying this guy could be a dude here for the Dobson Mustangs. That was my last point, James. Thank you.
Yeah. Jay Sean I love that kid, man. He's my third son or fourth son. I mean, he's that kid. I love that kid to death. He was a two-way starter for us at the beginning of the season as a sophomore. He's going to be our back end guy this year. He's going to pretty much, be the captain back there, run the show as a junior. He's going to split carries with a great transfer. We got in a kid named Makai Stuber. He transferred in last year from Corona, had to sit half the season. By the time he got a chance to carry the rock, we were getting real decimated with COVID and those types of things, and kids, missing practice because of being sick. So I'm excited. We've changed the offense a little bit to highlight our running backs a little bit more and highlight Jordan's ability to throw the ball down the field and be accurate. So I'm excited to see how it looks here coming out. It's going to be a real tough test that first week against Red Mountain, because I know they're chomping at the bit to right that ship. And Coach Enders is a heck of a DC, and Coach Peterson is a heck of a head coach. And we're going to have our work cut out with us, but our kids are focused one day at a time and making the most out of every situation that they get.
Coach, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you for that opening game there, Red Mountain against Dobson. But going back to last season, you had a stud quarterback there on your roster named Damian Duarte. I had the pleasure of getting to know him a little bit when we were out there last season. What kind of influence do you think he's had on Jordan as he is kind of now the incumbent quarterback there for the Mustangs?
All last year was great watching Damian tutor Jordan throughout the season, and he was actually his idea to go to wide receiver, to let Jordan come in, because Damian saw that he had, we needed to start developing as well. And we had talked about it, and Damian is a selfless kid, and we're going to miss him dearly this next year. But he did a great job tutoring him and mentoring him, giving him the focus of what it takes, that every rep, every step, every throw counts, every read counts. You got to get your pre-snaps. You got to go through your progressions as quick as you possibly can. If this guy's not here, get gone to the second read. And Damian was very, very influential in that and developing, helping to develop Jordan to get him ready. And it was fun to watch him develop over the last year with Jordan. And Damian said he's going to go to school at ASU this year. He's just going to focus on his education, but after his first year of college, he's already said he wants to come. After his first year, he wants to come back and coach and give back to Dobson. So that's the type of kid that young man is, and he's always going to have a special place in my heart.
Awesome.
That's great. Coach, you had a lot of young men get after it on defense last year. I believe 17 players had double-digit tackles last season, and a lot of them were seniors, and a lot of them have moved on. Is Jay Sean one of those young men that can step up in the stead of those seniors and kind of lead this defense? Are you looking at other players besides him that can step up on your defense and make plays like all those young men did that graduated last year?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot of juniors that are coming in. They're going to be playing a lot of time, but we've had some kids that had some serious muscle growth, and they hit the weight room hard. Michael Delegati is the name you need to keep a remember on. He's going to be our weak side inside linebacker. The kids that had 25 pounds of muscle this offseason. He looks like a monster right now. He's going to be one to watch. Our starting middle linebacker, Corey Wilson's back, so that's huge for us. That kid plugs gaps like nobody's business. And, we're excited. We changed the defensive coordinator, so I feel that our defense is going to move forward. Our defense coordinator decided to retire after the season. So I'm excited. One of my old friends came down from Colorado, so I'm excited to get him out there, and he's bringing some young energy juice with him that gets these kids flying around. So I'm excited to see our changes out there, but our defense will be flying around.
Coach Kenny, he's going to be running behind some big dudes. Let's talk about a couple of your linemen up front that are going to pave the way on that offensive line. If he's returning, he's another dude. Grayson Longfellow plays both sides of the ball a year ago. Perhaps he's grown a little bit, 6'5", 240 maybe right about now. And then Ezra Joseph, one of those guys that might be kind of off the radar a little bit, a tackle, 5'11", 275. You can't teach the size, Coach.
Actually, we're moving Ezra into guard because we have a freshman that just became a sophomore. His name's Nathan Tracy. He's 6'4", 275, and has pretty much solidified one of our tackle positions. And we got another transfer in from Corona that sat out last year and is eligible to play his senior year. His name's Kyle Whitaker, 6'6", 285 at the other tackle. So we're going to be moving Ezra into the guard. Grayson and Kyle are both fighting for that starting tackle position right now. So it's been a fun battle to watch between those three guys, those three tackles fighting for their jobs. Grayson's going to be a stud inside at a defensive tackle for us. So he's been getting some looks at some D2s and NAIs up in Montana. He added about 30 pounds of muscle as well. He finally grew into his big frame. So I'm excited to watch him have a great senior season as well.
Yeah, Coach
has been chugging the protein over there, it sounds like.
That's
Coach,
great.
Huh? Dobson High School.
Yes, sir. We make sure our kids eat well.
It's great to have that kind of level of talent and depth in the trenches. Is it not, Coach, on that offensive side and the defensive side?
Yeah, it took we hit the hallways hard. We were lucky enough to grab 6 of our state and regional qualifying wrestlers to come out as seniors this year. That's just going to add more depth to our linebackers and our line. So we're excited about that. It's I tell the kids, we're in year 3 of this of me taking over, but it's actually kind of like year 2, year 2.1, where we're trying to develop this culture. The culture is getting set in place. So it's about time to, now we got to go learn how to win and, take those steps to work in the off season, work every practice like you're coming out to win a game, and just not a game that you're coming out to occupy your time.
Guys, I got one final point here. Now, we're having some fun here because that's what this show is all about. It's a family program. We're having a good time here.
Sure.
So,
Absolutely.
Coach Gossel, you mentioned twice here that you've gotten some players from Corona. And that just doesn't happen all the time either, that players transfer into Dobson. So kudos to you. It's always a unique situation.
One of them lived right across the street and chose to, he decided to come back, and the other one moved into Dobson, so that's why they're here.
No, but it's kind of refreshing though. But it's kind of cool. Usually, it's a lot of cases they're going the other direction. But the fact that you're there to maintain, stabilize, and again, you got guys that just looking over the other side of the fence and saying, "Hey, I like the way they're doing things. I like the change going on there for Dobson." But it's just kind of fun because a lot of other schools they need players and they just show up on the doorstep. It's kind of fun how that works. But always enjoy what you guys do at Dobson, Coach.
Thank you very much.
And kudos to you as well, Coach Gossel. I think Kevin would attest to this as well. We've seen the culture change there, getting to see the Mustangs once a season being with Red Mountain over the last 5 to 6 years. And kudos to you. You've really turned the tide over there for the Mustangs. And it's a great place to go watch a football game and compete. And we're looking forward to being out there again on Thursday, November 4th, as you guys host the Tucson Magnet High School Badgers.
Looking forward to having you guys out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Bill.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you,
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
Have a great night,
Our
sir.
final game of the season. It'll be an exciting one right over here around the corner, much to my liking, at 43rd Avenue and Bell. It'll be the Northwest Christian Crusaders and the Greenway Demons. We are joined this evening by the head coach for the Northwest Christian Crusaders, Coach Dave Ennis. Coach Ennis, it's always a pleasure to have you on with us. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good, Coach. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Coach,
I'm the old guy on the show.
Hey, that's why we got you in this after 10 o'clock slot. It's more like Carson and Letterman stuff. So we're
right.
late night TV with
There's some late
Dennis.
night talk, right?
Right.
Whatever you want, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, give us an update on your squad, Coach. What you guys have been up to in the offseason and exciting things on the horizon. You guys went deep into the playoffs last year, and you're looking at making another run this season.
Yeah, this 4A is a gauntlet. Our conference, I feel, is the number one conference in 4A when you're dealing with Cactus and Greenway and Peoria, and it's crazy, but it's crazy fun. Our kids love the challenge. Last year we got to the quarters. We played with Cactus, got beat on the last play of the game, and one of the best games we've ever played at Northwest. And again, our guys don't know any different. We're young and fun. I've got great senior leadership. I've got guys that are 3-year starters that are running the program, and the young guys are falling into place. The numbers are big, like these guys are saying. We're not big. We've never been big, but the guys will be ready to play.
Coach, it is great to make the playoffs, go 5-3, 1-1 in the 4A West Valley, and lose to Mesquite. But you made it to the conference quarterfinals. Is it unfinished business? Is that one of the mantras this year, or you just roll on to the next season?
You know what? Our goal is to be playing our best football at the end of the year, and our goal is to be in the hunt. We don't. It's not unfinished business. We went toe to toe with Mesquite. We led the 4A, and we gave up the least amount of points in 4A last year, which a goal was of ours. But when you run into
I think he froze up.
I think we might have had Coach Ennis freeze up a little bit. Now let's be realistic about this here, guys.
There's Coach.
There's Coach. He's back with us. Go ahead, Coach. We lost you there for just a moment.
Coach, you're not on a Lenovo, are you? I'm just kidding.
It's okay.
He's freezing up a little bit. What I was going to say is you got Northwest Christian, which was a 2A program just 6-8 years ago, and now they've moved their way up to 4A, and all Coach Ennis does is have these guys out there, and they just compete. Am I right, Coach?
Yeah, we just, what's nice is the kids see what happens with the way the program runs from year to year. And again, we do it with the way our seniors run our program. And that, Luke Johnson and Grant Gibson, both those guys coming back, I'm not kidding you. I can be late to practice, and practice will go as planned. But it's just fun to watch because they've grown up watching their brothers and the guys in front of them. But you know what? It's a challenge. Like you said, we're still a 2A school in numbers, and 3A was a challenge at the top half, but 4A, there's no week off. You got to be ready to go, and our guys are excited about it.
Yeah, and Coach, you get 4 section games this year, one of them being Greenway, so every one of those section games are crucial. And, of course, we end November 11th with our broadcast with Greenway. Talk about the importance of getting those section games because, as you mentioned, none of these games are gimme.
No. And Gila Ridge, who we didn't play, they're a big physical team down in Yuma. But, Ed Cook, he's an old timer like me, does a great job over there. We've been friends for a long time, and it's a gauntlet. There's not like you're running to, every week. It's just you've got to have some depth, and we're young and fun, and we're trying to develop some depth. But good thing about the Northwest boys is they don't know any different. We're going to line up and play it as hard as you can. If you get us, you're going to have to play well.
Coach, how do you do this? How do you reload every year and have the same passion and depth to your program, and you're able to pass on different messages, different wisdom, but the coaches remain the same, so it appears, and the front man, the face of the franchise, Coach Dave Ennis, remains the same. But it's not easy doing what you do.
No.
And as James pointed out, going from the 2A all the way up to the 4A conference now, it's just, how do you do it? It's impressive, Coach. It really is.
It's a lot of work, but you know what? Our goal, and I'm blessed with great coaches. The key is I've got a junior high program, and I've started to keep kids instead of going down the street to the bigger schools. And our JV program is the key. We start 22 guys on the JV. Nobody starts both ways, and everybody plays in every game. that's how you develop those guys. And they come up with us. And again, they watch what's happening in front of them. We like to have fun. Our practices are loose, but when it's time to go, we try to play as hard as we can every single play. And if we don't, we're not in ball games.
I look at some of the players you've had run through that program, and there has been a tremendous list. But I believe at one point, the all-time rushing leader in the state, Casa, if he's not the all-time leading rusher in the state, over 7,500 yards, he came through Northwest Christian. I mean, you got some guys that have come through.
Yeah,
there.
I inherited him. He's the most humble superstar I've ever coached. I tell you what, you dreaded being the first guy to tackle him. 7,500 yards, 110 touchdowns. He was amazing, but he never was out in front. He just led by example. And then we were blessed. Not a lot of players, but we had great players. I've got, just on my varsity now, I've got 3 coaches that have coached over 30 years we've all, including myself, 4 coaches over 30 years experience. And we have got
tremendous.
We've got 3 former players that have grown up in the system to come back, and now they're helping coach, and they understand the system, and they know what it takes to compete and try to win ball games on Friday night.
Coach, I got a 2-part question for you. How important is it for the cohesiveness you talk about of your staff to be together? A lot of times every year there's turnover, guys, have things happen. They got to move out of town. They lose a job. A wife gets a different job in a different state. So, stuff that just kind of uncontrollable, but how important is it to keep that staff together and have that cohesiveness? And then how important is it to have players on your team that are coaches on the field, so that, like you say, if you're taking care of something else, hey, my program is running just like it would if I was standing right there with a whistle on.
Yeah. Hey, the name of the game is trying to keep your coaches. And again, they got to have fun. You know what? I got guys, that can't get there certain days because of work. We totally get it. We just step up. But the key has been the core of every level of my programs, which is 3 counting the junior high feeder program. But it's the core coaches and the head coaches have stayed there. And I'm telling you, it's just cool to see. You've been there. The guys, it's just the leadership. They learned from the group before. And you know what? We're not always going to be, the best team, but we're going to be competitive every Friday night. And it's because of the kids. We got great kids. We work hard. We practice right after school. We're not a team that comes in at night. Academics are pretty hard at Northwest. We practice at 3:30, whether it's 115 or whatever. That's just the way we do things. And they know what we're going to do. And we try to do it. We practice on Saturdays every week. That's part of the program.
Well, you talk about a guy that knows how to talk with his shoulder pads and helmet, Casa. I think he had about 1,500 yards on my defensive line alone at Phoenix Christian. So, but yeah, that was a heck of a running back right there you had coaching. But it all starts at the top. You talk about your coaches and everything, but it's your leadership, and that trickles all the way down. And the players know it, and the coaches know it. And I believe that's got to be one of the main reasons for your continued success there with the Crusaders.
Oh, I appreciate it. But again, it takes the whole school's behind it. I mean, we're blessed with great kids, female and male at Northwest. We just we want to compete at the highest level, but we also want to act right. And our goal is to play for one as one. So again, as long as I can get up down the sidelines, I love where I'm at. There's not a job in the state I wouldn't leave for. I love what I do. It's just, you get to know, you've been in the small schools, everybody.
Yes.
So, and I love that because I can tell you what kind of practice we're going to have by 10 o'clock in the morning or what I have to do to get them going.
Very true. Yes.
I've seen them in the hallway. So, but again, that game with Greenway will be fun. I mean, literally a guy that knows what they're doing with hitting a golf ball could hit 2 shots and land on their field. So, I'm too much right or left, so it'd take me a lot longer. But we're honored to play Ed Cook and the boys over there. Again, he's amazing, so I like him a lot. We do a lot of film exchange, and it'll be fun because the kids know each other.
Well, Northwest Christian was a team I tried to get on the schedule during the inaugural Thursday Night Football last year, and unfortunately it didn't work out, but very thankful that we got you guys on this year, and we're looking forward to it. Thursday, November 11th, to close out the regular season, Greenway at Northwest Christian Crusaders. The Greenway Demons over there at Northwest Christian High School, 7 p.m. kickoff. Thank you so much, Coach Ennis, for joining us. We appreciate what you do over there with Northwest.
JP, I got two more quick ones for Coach Ennis. One, Coach, you mentioned other coaches that right here on this very broadcast, but I know you're revered by others, and you are looked up to and highly revered. Who's on your speed dial, my friend? Give me 5 guys on your speed dial, coaches that we know. Who are you buzzing?
You know what? It's funny. I'm the kind of guy that I get numbers from, the old young guys. I love when guys call and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? But, old Rudy, you remember Rudy Pacheco? My former coach back in the day, Rudy. I talked to Ed Cook a lot. The Centennial guys. I talk to everybody, as you know. And, Rhett Stallworth, Yuma and Northwest are quite the rivals. But Rhett and I, we talk quite a bit. It can be, getting on each other a little bit sometimes. But then we're talking about opponents. And I value all the relationship with the coaches. I don't care if you're a brand new coach, if I can help you or there's somebody out there that can show me something. I love Monday through Thursday and, being with my kids. Games are just awesome at the end of the week, but during the week is when you get to develop and work with these kids and actually dig into what's going on in their lives. And it's brutal out there, guys, as you know. And if I can help them all, I'll take it. But, Coach Ennis, I talk to everybody. So I got everybody on speed dial.
All right, last one. Where are the Ennis boys right now? I know one's long snapping at Iowa State.
That's Hadcock's boy at Iowa State. Dusty.
Wait, Dusty, wasn't he was there at Iowa State? Was he not?
No, he's at Abilene Christian. I tell you what, I miss him. He's the all-time leading tackler at Northwest, but he is smart and took the long snapping job at Abilene Christian, and he walked on, and this past spring picked up full scholarship. So
congratulations!
That's awesome.
And then my oldest is my pass game coordinator now. Thank God, does a great job. And you know what? We try not to talk about football at home, but we do a lot in my office. But I won't bring it home. But anyway, I've got him for one more year at least. But he was our quarterback for 3 years. You know what? He understands the game, and he's been with me now for this will be his 5th year. So, but again, what's cool about Northwest? We had 15 different guys start at a college football program this week. We're not going to ASU and the big schools, but I got 15 guys playing somewhere, which, that's just awesome. We're not the biggest schools, but these guys are living out their dream from Iowa to Kansas to Chicago to Texas. So it's cool. And we even got one up in Idaho now. So,
I say it all the time, Coach. I think it's so great that if a kid really loves the game and he wants to play, there's a place for him to play. If he really wants to play, there's a place.
Yep. And those guys got to realize that it's not easy. It's not like high school. It's totally different. It's so funny as these guys that we had 7 from last year's team playing, and they started to camp, and they're like, Coach, so much different. I go, yes, it is. And it's a job, guys, especially if they're giving you some money.
Right.
So we're super excited for them. And again, the academics helps a ton, obviously. But you know what? I'm blessed. I wouldn't coach anywhere else. I don't know if this 34th or 35th year, who knows? I don't count them anymore, but I just got a passion for it. I can't do without the administration, and my coaching staff is amazing.
A true ambassador right there, Dave Ennis.
Someday I'm going to sit with you.
That's right. We're going to get you up in the booth sometime, Coach. Eventually, it's going to happen once you hang that whistle up for the final time.
That sounds good, my friend.
One thing I love about all you guys is you really never stop being students of the game that we love, and you're able to pass that on to the younger generation. And it's really all about sharing the love of the game and how to do it the right way. And that's really what it's all about. So thank you guys so much for coming on with us tonight. We really appreciate it. I know we went a little bit long, but very exciting stuff here on the Thursday Night Football Game of the Week schedule. We're going to put that schedule up here one more time as we say goodnight, and thank everyone once again for their time this evening. A lot went into getting this done, and we appreciate you guys coordinating with us, going back and forth. I've been back and forth with you guys and your ADs, and some of you are the coaches and the ADs. And so I really appreciate your willingness to work. And we finally got this thing hammered out, and still one more game to officially hammer out there on October 7th, but it's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. And once again, thank you for your time and appreciate you coming on here tonight with us. Thursday Night Football 2021. It all starts Thursday night, August 26th at Scottsdale Christian Academy in Phoenix against the Arizona Lutheran Coyotes. Any final words, gentlemen, before we sign off here for the evening?
What a great night. Just a great night of talking to a lot of great coaches. We are excited for this season, and this is going to be really fun. It's going to be a great run from then until we get to November 11th. Once we start off with Arizona Lutheran and Scottsdale Christian, it'll be an absolute ride all the way through November.
12 games all the way through.
Well, I like the schedule, and I like the people that are a part of this journey. Great coaches, some good stories about their coaches, some players that are up and coming, just some really, really good stuff to look forward to. But we say it all the time. The Great State 48 is really just a giant success in high school football. There's so many people to credit for that. But this group right here, I mean, we got one coach that's coached nearly 35 years, and then one coach just inherited his first opportunity in Coach Kulos. So it at all ends of the spectrum here, but they're bringing their talent, their wisdom, and their passion to teach this game. And I think we're all going to be better people because of it.
And James and Kevin, I love that we get to highlight these men and these young men, all this talent that we have in this state that many people that people may not know, but they're going to know now over the next 12 weeks. Once we start from the beginning to the end, the talent will shine, and people who may not know a lot about these programs, they're going to learn. They will learn.
That's exactly right. We're very looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to blow it out on the broadcast. So you guys are going to really enjoy it. We appreciate you taking the time tonight. And once again, thanks for being a part of Thursday Night Football for 2021. For my broadcast partners, Ed Cole and Kevin Derryberry, I'm James Poovey saying so long. Everyone have a great night. We will talk to you soon. And we're going to kick this thing off at Scottsdale Christian Academy on Thursday night, August 26th at 7 p.m. Make sure and jump on YouTube and subscribe to the Epic Sports Network YouTube channel so you'll be notified whenever we go live. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good night.
Thank you, coaches. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.